welcome to 5% Radio, where it's all about learning like no one else today so you can live like no one else tomorrow. Please be sure to share and subscribe. Hey, what is up, and welcome back to another episode of the 5% Radio podcast. Today, in episode number 66, I want to talk to you about momentum. I want to talk to you about why paying the price is the variable that messes most people up. I want to talk to you about the prize that you want, the people you associate with, who you compare yourself to, and then we're also going to be discussing cups, puddles, ponds, lakes, seas, and oceans. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I was listening to a talk by PBD. If you know who that is, it's Patrick Bet-David. He's in the financial services. He's an insurance guy. He's worth, I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars, probably over $500 million, I would assume. I know he has like $200 million cash on hand, like in the bank. So he's done super well. And I was listening to him give this talk on momentum. It was about a bunch of different things, but it was actually called, if you want to go look it up on YouTube, I think it was called Your Next 15 Plays. Think like a master entrepreneur, something along those lines. It was a great talk. He went into a lot of different details and covered a plethora of different topics. But that, like, the main thought of it was like thinking through your life as an entrepreneur. And one of the things he talked about was gaining momentum. And if you could picture an analogy here with me, that you are at a car dealership, you are there to buy a vehicle, you know exactly what you want, but the salesman, the rep who's there helping you out, the customer service rep, whatever you want to call the guy who is selling you the thing, has not actually told you how much the car costs. So you've got an idea in your head, a fixed amount of what you think the car should cost, but you have no idea of the real dollar amount. So what do? You start shelling out $100 bills. And as you're shelling out these $100 bills, in the back of your head, you're thinking, there's a price that I have to pay, and you have kind of a conception of what you think that price is, but the salesman is the only person who actually knows the real price of the thing. So here I am, I'm there to buy a vehicle, I know exactly what I want, make, model, trim, color, stitching in the seats, like all that, I know exactly what I want. I'm there to buy the thing, the guy will not give me the real price, he just says, yep, just start counting out money, and I'll tell you when you've paid enough. And that is how momentum works. That is how paying the price for the stuff you want works. No one tells you, hey, this is the exact amount of work you have to do. Guaranteed if you do X, you'll get Y. Like that's not how this game works. So we're in a phase right now where I'm working on developing momentum in the agency, and a lot of the stuff that you have to put up with when you're developing momentum just feels like waste of time. Now, again, the agency is not my long-term plan, but I'm going to absolutely crush it as much as I can in providing the best quality service, highest value, just everything that I can do to absolutely be the best at what I do, I'm going to do while I'm in this game. And what I'm doing right now with developing momentum is there's a lot of days where I wake up before the family, I work, and I'm working after the family goes to bed. And I'm working, when they're going to do stuff that I would absolutely love to be going with them. Is that losing out on stuff now? Absolutely. Am I fully aware of that? Yes. Am I deceived in the sense that, do I ever think that my S-type business is going to get me financially free? No. I know there's limitations, and I know I will probably never be able to sell the asset of an agency just because of the business model that it's in. However, owning the marketing agency right now can do one thing, and I've mentioned this before on the show. It can put a lot of cash in the bank really quickly, and that is the only reason that I'm continuing to work with the model. I can do that. I can do straight commission sales. There's a lot of different stuff that I can do. I just did a straight commission sales job in the past, I think, 2 months here that ended up being, I think it was close to $4,000 in commission on maybe like 7 hours of work, which, yeah, at some point in the next couple of years, I'll look back on that and I'll be like, man, I can't believe I worked that many hours for that little money. But right now I'm like, hey, that was great. But with the agency right now, developing momentum it's such a difficult thing because it feels like a lot of the stuff you're doing is a total waste of time. I'm just sitting there shelling out these $100 bills. I'm just paying this price day in and day out, morning and night, over and over and over and over and over again. And guess what? There might not be any actual financial result this month or next month or the month after. It's like going to the gym. When you start going to the gym, there was a guy, his name is Logan. Shout out Logan if you listen. He used to go to the CrossFit gym that I went to back when I was doing competitive CrossFit. I was there all the time. Probably worked out like 30 hours a week. Like that's not an exaggeration, not a stretch. Like I was there all the time. And this guy came to the gym and he was like 360 or 365 pounds. And I can distinctly remember, like, in the back of my head thinking like, dude, if this guy actually does what it takes to drop like 120 pounds, just the amount of people that have ever done that, like that percentile's got to be so mind-blowingly small. It was just, and like, I really felt like pretty early on, like, okay, this guy's going to do it. And he did. He went from like 360 or 365 down to, I think, somewhere between 220 and 240. And he's continued to work out. And like, just, I can remember like the first couple weeks that he was there. And we did a workout one day and it had like a mile run, which is basically at that point just like a fast-paced walk. But like you're 360. Like, dude, props to you for getting out there and just getting your butt to work. Like that is amazing. And he kept going and kept going and kept going. The guy was so dialed in that I can remember talking about Chipotle with him. And he's like, oh, dude, he's like, I would give anything to have, it was either cheese or sour cream. He definitely wasn't having both, but I think it was sour cream. He's like, dude, I had like a cheat meal today with my Chipotle. Like I had sour cream on it. Like he was so excited because he was paying the price. And all he had to do was shell out $100 bills with no reservation. Not arguing with the salesman, not telling him I paid you enough. This is unfair. Don't you know who I am? That guy didn't have to pay this much. Like your price is your price is your price is your price. I heard a guy talking about one time getting financially free, and his mentor told him, like, if you do 340 sales meetings in this exact fashion, if you talk to this many people in this way, like 300 was the number the guy gave him. If you do this 300 times, you'll never have to work for anyone ever again. You'll be completely financially free. And the guy ended up doing it 340 times before he got free. But he's like, you know what? Everyone's got a number. Like everyone's got a dollar amount of a price to pay, so to speak, and the work that you're going to have to do and the personal growth that you're going to have to achieve and the changes that you'll have to make. I don't know where that price is. You might be paying the price in one area, but there's another area right next to you, like right next to that. And you are just not paying the price at all. You're trying to negotiate it to death. There might be an area, you're a hard worker, but man, you're terrible with your money. You spend it on all kinds of stupid crap. And you're trying to negotiate the price of like, man, I want to make millions of dollars. And life is sitting there like, hey, look, dummy. If you're going to make 30 grand a month and spend 31, you're always going to be broke. Like, period. That's how it's always going to work. If you're going to make all this money, even if you're going to be frugal, if your health is going to be garbage and you're going to do drugs and you're going to drink all the time and you're going to just not work out and eat garbage food, guess what? Eventually that money, that success, that price you paid over here is almost not even worth it because you're like, I can't even enjoy this because I feel so terrible because my body is riddled with cancer, whatever other kind of disease. Like there comes a point when if I'm paying a price in area A, to not pay the price in area B as well just becomes foolish. Like you've got to realize that your price is your price. It's not about what the guy next to you paid. It's not about what the guy before you in the program that you're in paid. It's not about what the other person who got in the same exact opportunity, he paid less and it just blew up for him. And you're like, well, that's not fair. Guess what? You don't know where he started. You don't know what price he paid before to learn skills that got him further ahead in this area. Just like there's plenty of guys that I've worked out with. I've had several phenomenal training partners, and then I've had a lot of people that I burned out with training because I love to train high intensity. If you know anything about me, I'm a high octane guy. I'm 0 to 100. I don't have like a first, second, third, fourth, and fifth gear. I'm like either I'm not doing it or I want to crush it. I don't want anything in between. I hate dabbling. When I've realized that I'm dabbling in an area, it absolutely drives me crazy, like makes me want to puke. So that's just how I'm wired. And the guys that I train with, that I love to train with, are the guys that push me and make me feel like I'm a wussy. Like we're training and they just make me feel like I'm a wimp. Like they make me feel like, dude, like, no, we're going to do more. We're going to do it harder. Like go faster. Like, come on, let's go. Like they push me and they make me feel like, dude, like weak sauce. Like your best of your best of your best still couldn't beat me in this thing. Like, dude, you suck. You got to work on that. Like that's what I personally want. I want to be talked to. Like, come on. Like, are you a wimp? Are you a loser? Like, dude, you used to be in such great shape. Like that's what I want. I want my training partner, if we're doing heavy carries and he's walking behind me and he sees that I've got like, you know, I'm not as tight as I used to be. I want him to be like, hey, what's up with the love handles? Like I want that kind of person in my life because that's who I strive to be in my own head. Like I want to talk to myself harder than anyone else will ever talk to me. It's been said that leaders are supposed to be harsh on themselves, and soft on others. They're hard on themselves and they're soft on others. In other words, you have a bar that you refuse to dip below. You refuse to drop the ball on it. You will talk to yourself like a winner, like a champion, like a coach should talk to another athlete, period. You will do it because you demand excellence. And then everyone else you're soft on, unless they specifically ask for that. And then just heads up, leaders, they're still not ready for it 99.999% of the time. So even if they say, I'm ready for it, hit me, like, don't talk to them like that. But paying the price, I can't negotiate that and then still expect to get what I want. When I go to the car dealership and they're like, yep, go ahead and start shelling out Benjamins. As long as I continue to shell out, I'll eventually get what I want, period. Like, as long as I'm not willing to say I'll go this far and no further, I've already paid what I think is fair. And here's the thing. If you get around the right people, they will encourage you to keep building momentum. If you get around the right people, they'll encourage you to keep doing the right things. Logan, when he started working out, man, 120 pounds. Like, do you know how far it is for him to even see the light at the end of the tunnel? Like, that was a long process. It took him like 14 months of super focused, disciplined, working out 5, 6, 7 days a week, twice a day sometimes. But the dude did it. And guess what? For the rest of his life, he's an entirely different dude. His confidence is different. The way he looks at people is different. His eye contact is different. The way he carries himself is different because he decided, I'm going to make something of myself. I'm going to pay the price in at least one area, and I will do whatever it takes to get there. And now that he's done that, guess what he can do? He can take that exact same mindset into area number 2. But if he would have negotiated the price on the weight loss, he's got nothing to take into the next area. And some of you right now are negotiating the price on the things that you say that you want, but it's a lie. If you're negotiating the price, that's like if I were to ask my wife, like, hey, look, I want to get married, have kids, do the whole thing, 50 years, 60 years together, spend the rest of our lives together. But every fifth weekend, can I go hang out with a different chick? Excuse me? No. Can I do, can we negotiate? No. You pay the full price of what it takes to have a great marriage. That's fidelity. That's caring for your spouse. Like, that example right there, I cannot tell you how many times I've used that example. 364 days a year, I'll be loyal, honey. But that 365th day, just give me some leeway. You're not committed, period. That's not how this works. You can be great in business and then decide to become a slacker. You can quit paying the price and lose all of your momentum. See, business goes in building momentum, sustaining momentum, and then explosion. Very, 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 very few people ever make it past. And I'm fully aware of this going into it, so I know that the time to coast is not when you gain momentum. Most people get to momentum, if you can picture the roller coaster, when it finally gets to the top of the hill and it starts to roll down, most people think my job is done. But guess what? The roller coaster is still being propelled. You ever been on a roller coaster and you're like, man, we were probably going 100 miles an hour after that drop, absolutely crazy. And then you go into a corner and you feel the roller coaster tug again, like it's being propelled. Yeah, guess what? It's still being pushed, and they have to slow you down at the end because it was being driven the whole time. You cannot coast in anything. We used to have something in physics class. I remember we were given, here's the angle of the hill, here's the weight of the car, here's the surface area of the tires and all the stuff, here's the wind. The vehicle is going this fast when the engine cuts out. How long will it coast? It was called I think it might have been a problem that we had to solve for airplanes later on as well. It was called optimal glide speed. There was all this different stuff that we had to do, but one of the main things was okay, if the surface is like this, it's this angle, the car weighs this much, and it's going this many miles an hour, and the wind is doing this in this direction at this many miles an hour, how long will this car coast? And you had to figure that out. But guess what the car eventually did? When you're asking how long will it coast, the thing that's implied there is that, hey, it's not going to coast forever. It's going to stop. And if you decide to coast, guess what? Revenue is going to drop. All kinds of other areas of your life are going to drop because you don't have momentum. The wind in your sails, the time to sail and put more canvas up against the wind is when the wind is blowing the hardest. When you're getting momentum in the weight loss, when you're getting momentum towards getting debt free, when you're getting momentum towards getting 6 figures or 7 figures or whatever it is in the bank, in investments, when you're getting momentum towards the business growing, when you're getting momentum towards the relationship getting good, when everything begins to actually get good and grow, that's when most people are like, I've arrived. But if you hang out with people who are on the next level, if I'm hanging out with people that are in the same tiny cup of water that I'm in, and I start to make 10, 20, 30 grand a month, working 10, 15 hours a week, they're like, wow, that's so amazing. You're so rare. You're the only guy I know that makes 10 grand a month profit, take home and works 10 hours a week, 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. That's crazy. I don't know anyone else like that. And then someone else in the next, so there's a little cup and there's a puddle. Someone else in the puddle next to you is like, dude, we're making 50 grand a month, working 15 hours a week. That's level up, man. What are you doing? What do you mean you're taking the weekends off? What are you talking about? Are you where you want to be yet? Well, no. Well, why are you coasting? There's the cup. There's the puddle. And then next to that, there's the pond. Things get a little bigger. I know people that make 6 figures a month. Guess what? They're not coasting because they want to make 7. Is that greed? Is that the love of money that the Bible talks about? Is it all that stuff? No, but they love the game. Like, I love the gym. It's so much fun to me, and I chose that over so many other things in my life. When I was in college, I was playing piano, and my piano teacher has passed on now. That was teaching me in college, but she handpicked me. I guess that didn't happen. She went to the college after my tryout because I was going to get a scholarship when I was trying college for like the second or third time. Hated college. Wouldn't recommend it. 2 colleges, 1 university, absolutely was not for me, not because I was failing out of school. I just did not want to learn how to memorize stuff and then regurgitate it back on a test for 4 years, pay a couple $100,000, be given a piece of lambskin, and then be like, you are now worth more to society because you passed tests. And guess what? It doesn't matter if you pass tests with a 2.0 or a 4.0. We're still going to give you the paper as long as you hit the bare minimums. Like, that's not how life works. Hit the bare minimums. Like, I want to shoot for excellence. And college and university was not excellence to me. If you want to be a doctor, if you want to be something else, and you have to do that, absolutely go. But I will tell you that successful people do not give 2 craps about credentials. They don't care. Unsuccessful people who make it, when I say unsuccessful, I mean people who are not making it as big as they want to, people who are living below their talent threshold, people who are not giving life everything they have. They're going out for that safe, secure job and that retirement, and they want their tenure at the university, and they're just going to go in and teach until they're way too old and they should be fired. Like, the people who are doing that, they care about degrees. They care about, oh, they have these letters before or after their name. People who are wealthy do not care. Guys who are worth $100 million don't care where you went to college. Guys who are worth $50 million don't care where you went to college, if you went to college, if you graduated high school. Henry Ford, I think, had like a 6th grade education. Who cares? The guy was worth millions and millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. Nobody cares about it. So when I was in college and I realized, like, this is not what I want, because it's not about how excellent you can be. It's just about learning stuff to tell it back to them so you can get a piece of paper. So I can then go get what? A job. Like, that's not the momentum that I want. Like, but if you compare yourself to people that are in the same exact cup or puddle or pond or lake or sea or ocean as you, guess what? They're going to be like, man, you're doing awesome. Like, I want to compare myself to the guy who's like, yeah, I can remember when I was there. That's cute. Like, not in a rude way. Like, hey man, props. Like, you just started the business and you made your first $1,000 month. Awesome. But hang out with the guy that's making $10,000. So when you get to $10,000, he can connect you with someone that makes $100,000. It's not about that. When I went to university and I started taking piano, the lady told me, and she was an extremely good teacher. She was harsh. She was rude. She'd slap your hands and yell at you and all kinds of good stuff. It was exactly that training partner that I talked about. That was exactly what I wanted and what I got in Liz Pasture. But as she's teaching me piano, and I had been doing piano since I was 8, she was one of the first people who ever realized, like, okay, you have this amount of talent and you're being lazy. But I was able to get by. She told me she wanted me to practice like an hour and a half a day. And I wasn't allowed to buy the songs. I wasn't allowed to listen to them. I wasn't allowed to download the songs that I was playing until I was done with them, because I had to read the sheet music, because if I heard the song, my ear for music was good enough. She told me, like, if you hear the song, you will not need the sheet music, and that's not what you're trying to learn. Like, you're already good at that. I want to develop your ability to sight read, because if we can bring that up, it balances you out as a musician all over. And as I'm doing this, like, I just began to lose my passion for it, because I would practice 45 minutes, two and a half days that week. So I practiced a total of like an hour and 50 minutes the entire week. She wanted me to practice 5 or 6 hours from lesson to lesson, or 7 hours, and I would practice like 25 or 30% of what she wanted me to. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm sharing mindset with you. And she's like, man, I can really tell that you practiced an hour plus a day. And I'm like I didn't lie to her. I wasn't like, oh yeah, absolutely this. But like, the fact that I could put in that little effort and get the exact output she wanted, like, it became so, like, it's such a second nature thing. Music is like my natural gift. I take no responsibility for it. It's something that I feel like I was given. Everyone has gifts. I got blessed with the ability to sing. I know other people that sing that try to take credit for it. You didn't birth yourself with that voice. Like, you didn't birth yourself with the ability to do whatever you're like naturally, not saying you haven't worked for, but whatever you're naturally good at. Like, when people compliment someone's outer beauty and they act like, well, I'm better than you because I look prettier. Like, you did nothing for that. Like, you literally just like, hey, like, you ended up with a pretty face. You ended up with a handsome face. And maybe I didn't like it. But so for me, I was like, okay, so this is a gift. I've developed it, but it is a gift. And it was something that was given to me. Like, I didn't have to work my butt off like someone else. And I actually lost my passion for it. And she told me one day, you're going to have to pick between music or the gym. Like, what you're putting your time into and your energy, your creative energy. And I told her, I'm like, okay, like, since you gave me that ultimatum, I went and thought about it. And I'm like, you know what? Music for me, I feel like is not hard enough to continually challenge me. And obviously, I never played with like world-class people. I could have gone to a bigger pond. I could have gone from a cup to a puddle to, I was already in, a decent sized pond at that university. I could have gone to a lake and an ocean, or a lake and a sea and an ocean, but I didn't. What I realized was the gym, I will never be at a peak. It doesn't matter how good you get, how strong you get, how great your conditioning is. Guess what? You can always take 1 second off your mile time. You can always add 5 pounds to your bench, your squat, your deadlift, your bent over row. You can always do one more rep of push-ups. You can always do one more rep of pull-ups. You can always hit one more PR. Like, just that addicted me alone. Money and business is the exact same way. You want to develop momentum? You're going to have to pay a price. You might have to pay a higher price than anyone else you know, but if you're hanging out with the right people, they're going to be encouraging you, not telling you that's not fair, that's bullcrap, that's garbage, you shouldn't have to work that hard, that's ridiculous, that's way too high of a price to pay. You'll be hanging out with people that are encouraging you. So few people develop momentum because of 3 things. Number 1, they don't have the right mindset, and eventually they say, I've shelled out enough hundreds, you haven't told me the cost of this car, I'm not willing to pay anymore. That's number 1. They negotiate the price and they refuse to pay full price. Number 2, they don't understand that if they want a specific prize, they have to hang out with people that have achieved that, because the people that haven't achieved that have no clue what the price is. They have no idea. And number 3, they absolutely have to, beyond a shadow of a doubt, get the mindset that once they actually get there, that is not the achievement. That was something on the way to the achievement, because if you make momentum the achievement, as soon as you get it, you'll begin to coast, you'll lose it, and then you'll have to go through building it all over again. So that is why so few people, almost nobody, here's the real reason, almost nobody achieves momentum. Those 3 things. I'll talk to you in the next episode.